Welcome to Atlantean Astrology. Here we dive beyond the ordinary and unveil the secrets that lie within the cosmos. This channel is a portal to the unknown, where ancient wisdom meets modern understanding to guide you on a journey through the stars and beyond. Join us as we open the mind's eye to the infinite, exploring the mysteries of the universe and the eternal truths that shape our lives. Embrace the adventure, unlock hidden knowledge, and discover what the universe has waiting for you. In a distant realm before time was woven, before the earth took shape in the cradle of the universe, there was light, a pure, boundless radiance, a sea of knowing that flowed directly from the divine. From this wellspring of infinite wisdom, all things arose and were held in harmony. This divine light encompassed all that was true, eternal, and whole, beyond the shadow of error or the sting of suffering. Yet as the light expanded, there was a fragmentation, a splintering of awareness that cast a veil between creation and its origin. This was the birth of ignorance, and with it came the first taste of suffering. In the gospel of truth, ignorance is not merely a lack of information or an absence of learning. It is a cosmic disconnection, a state of blindness that fell upon the soul like a thick fog, clouding its vision, obscuring its memory of divine origin. Ignorance is a forgetting of the self, of the soul's true home, and of the radiant source from which it emerged. Humanity, once bathed in the wisdom of the divine, fell into darkness, entrapped within a world of illusion. This ignorance was the root, and from it sprouted the branches of error, confusion, and endless searching. In this searching, humanity stumbled, lost in a labyrinth of half-truths and false realities, clinging to things that held no lasting substance. Imagine then the human soul as a traveler wandering through a vast desert, parched and weary, eyes scanning the horizon for water. Each time it thinks it has found relief, it reaches only a mirage, a trick of light that vanishes upon approach. The soul, unanchored from divine truth, begins to seek fulfillment in fleeting shadows, mistaking the temporary for the eternal, the hollow for the whole. In this state of ignorance, suffering becomes inevitable. We chase love but find possession, we seek peace but encounter only restlessness. We yearn for connection but find only separation. The Gospel of Truth speaks of this ignorance not as a moral failure, but as a tragic condition of separation from knowledge, a state of not knowing that binds the soul in chains of illusion. It is a primal error that causes the soul to lose itself in the world of form, grasping at reflections rather than seeing the light within. We, who were once heirs to the divine fullness, stumble through life as beggars, impoverished by our own unawareness. The text tells us that this ignorance is the root of all error, the birthplace of every false perception. And from this ignorance arises error, a manifestation that multiplies itself endlessly in the mind, leading to a cycle of suffering that binds humanity to the material world. Error, then, is ignorance in motion. It is the soul's desperate attempt to find truth in the transitory, to build a lasting reality out of impermanence. Like shadows dancing on the walls of a cave, error presents the soul with endless illusions, each more deceptive than the last. The material world, with all its glittering promises, becomes a prison of half-truths and forgotten dreams. and we, lost in this world, attach ourselves to these illusions, believing that they will fill the emptiness within. Yet each pursuit, each desire only deepens our hunger, driving us further from the source. To the Gnostic, this attachment to error is the very essence of suffering. We suffer not because we are inherently flawed, but because we have become ensnared in a web of illusions. Our thoughts, our desires, our fears, all are products of a mind blinded by ignorance. The true agony of the soul is not the pain of the body, but the pain of separation from its divine origin. This is the sorrow of the soul that has forgotten itself. A soul that has traded its birthright of light for the flickering shadows of the world. Yet the gospel of truth does not leave us in this desolate landscape of ignorance. It speaks of a way back, a path to liberation from the chains of error. This path is not found through intellectual knowledge or worldly wisdom, but through Gnosis, direct experiential knowledge of the divine. Gnosis is the antidote to ignorance, a light that pierces through the darkness, revealing the true nature of reality. It is a remembrance, a profound awakening to the soul's original state of unity with the divine. In this Gnosis, the illusions dissolve and the soul sees clearly for the first time. Imagine Gnosis as a radiant sun rising within the soul, dispelling the shadows of ignorance with each ray of light. This knowledge is not of the mind, but of the heart, a knowing that transcends thought and language. It is an inner recognition, a silent understanding that all is one, that the divine is not a distant God, but the very essence of our being. With this Gnosis, the soul begins to shed its attachments, to release its grip on the illusions of the world. It is as though a prisoner, long confined to a dark cell, suddenly sees the door open and steps into the light of freedom. In the gospel of truth, Jesus is not merely a teacher or a prophet. He is the revealer of this knowledge, the one who comes to awaken souls from their slumber. He is the word or logos, the divine message embodied, showing the way back to the source. His role is not to impose rules or doctrines, but to illuminate the path of Gnosis, to call the soul to remembrance. Jesus, in this Gnostic vision, is the bringer of light, the one who shatters the chains of ignorance and restores the soul to its rightful place in the divine order. As we journey deeper into Gnosis, we find that our suffering begins to dissolve. The false attachments, the endless desires, the fears that once tormented us lose their power. We see them for what they are, shadows cast by ignorance, mirages that vanish in the light of truth. In Gnosis, we return to a state of wholeness, a unity that transcends the divisions of mind and body, self and other. This is the liberation promised by the gospel of truth, a liberation that is not of the world, but of the spirit. The soul, having tasted this Gnosis, no longer seeks fulfillment in the fleeting things of the world. It no longer grasps at illusions, for it has found the source of all fulfillment within. This is the journey from darkness to light, from ignorance to wisdom, from suffering to peace. It is the journey of every soul, a journey that leads not outward but inward to the very heart of the divine. The gospel of truth calls us to awaken from the dream of ignorance, to remember who we truly are. It is a call to return to our original state of unity with the divine, to break free from the chains of error and step into the boundless light of Gnosis. This journey is not easy. It requires courage, surrender, and an unwavering commitment to truth. Yet for those who take this path, the reward is beyond measure, a life free from the bondage of suffering, a life lived in the fullness of divine knowledge. In this transcendent state, the soul realizes that it was never truly separate, that the divine was within all along. The gospel of truth reveals that the suffering caused by ignorance was but a veil, a temporary darkness that obscured the light. Now, with the dawn of Gnosis, the soul stands free, radiant and whole, reunited with the divine source. This is the ultimate message of the gospel of truth, that we are not bound to ignorance and error, but are destined for enlightenment, for peace, for eternal union with the divine. As we reflect on this journey, we see that the true path to liberation lies not in escaping the world, but in transforming our perception of it. Through Gnosis, we learn to see beyond the illusions, to pierce through the veil of ignorance and behold the divine essence in all things. In this vision, the world itself is redeemed, no longer a prison but a reflection of the divine light. And we, who were once lost in the shadows, emerge as bearers of this light, messengers of truth, free and at peace. Thus, the gospel of truth invites each of us to awaken, to remember, and to return. It is a call to embrace the light of Gnosis, to transcend the illusions of the world, and to reclaim our divine heritage. In this journey from ignorance to enlightenment, from suffering to bliss, we find not only ourselves, but the infinite and boundless love of the divine.